Somehow we convinced you to stay, huh? Well, welcome back to Golden Squad. This is the Awakening arc, part 2. Last time we had Edward, who had just achieved his bibliokinesis and tactile reading powers. He was deciding on which law school he'd want to go to, with the goal of helping the little guys. Zack had just returned from the Congo after his parents' death and his power awakening, and he attempted to bury his pain by hacking, with a similar goal of hurting those who hurt innocent people. Continuing with Edward.
Okay, so you go to Columbia. You do well in school because of your powers. Besides the ability of reading books, which I'm assuming you use all the time, are you going to use your other powers? Are you going to be like a masked crime fighter or something, in addition to being a law student?
Interesting. Sometimes, this is kind of fun. There's moments where I feel like, did I actually make a bad character, or is this still okay? Because I'm like, I don't know what he would do here. I wasn't necessarily seeking it out, especially the first time. But I had a moment where I was like, okay, I could do this. I could stop this guy, and I throw a look at him or something like that. Somebody who's doing a mugging or a robbery or something like that.
Do you carry around books with you because of your power?
Yes.
On purpose?
Yep, on purpose.
Law books, thick law books?
If I'm in school, it's just like textbooks in general. It doesn't have to be law books. I would be a person who would, I'm probably going to carry some heavier ones on purpose because of what I can do. Oh, somewhere in there, I feel like I've got that germaphobe quirk in there. I feel like that needs to develop somewhere in there.
Yes, I forgot about that. That is a complication.
Yeah, I catch some rare illness, and it's and I actually get really sick, and that happens in college. It's that
Fudge.
That, so I start carrying hand sanitizer with me everywhere.
Okay, I like that. You graduate from college, and you also got offers for several prestigious big firms around New York. So where do you want to go from here?
I would probably go to one of the more prestigious big ones. Okay.
You get an offer from Pitt, Walker, and Associates.
I feel like there needs to be a third name in there. There's either three names, Pitt, Walker, and...
I'll do not third. Not Gloop.
Gloop?
Olsen. Okay.
There we go. That's fine.
So you got Pitt, Walker, and not Gloop, and Olsen.
I didn't even know that could be an option. Gloop.
It sounds like a villain, like some bad villain in the Bond movie or something. I knew it was you, Gloop, all along.
Mendoza!
Pitt, Walker, Olsen, and Associates. So they make you an offer. They assigned you a partner. He's not a senior partner, so it's not Pitt, Walker, or Olsen. But he's a little bit... He works a little bit closer with his associates, so he likes to get their input on which cases he should take. His name is Andy Godfrey.
Andy Godfrey.
Or Andrew Godfrey.
Not Gilbert.
No. I'm a lawyer. I can't even...
It's hard to do his voice.
Yeah. He's unique for a reason. Okay. Andrew Godfrey. This guy reached out to you in particular because he works more defending the little guy in legal cases. So he pulls you into a meeting. So it's just you and Godfrey, and he goes welcome to the company.
The firm.
The firm, yes. Some of the partners here treat their associates a lot like interns. I'm not going to do that. I know you just got out of school, and we know that you were fairly high up in Columbia.
Top of my class, actually.
We're going to be a team here and try to work on some of these cases. So there's 4 high-profile cases that I wanted your input on to see which one you think we should take on.
Okay.
He presents you with 4 pamphlets, 4 folders, manila folders. I don't know what they do in law firms.
I don't know either.
Binders? Yeah. So he gives you 4 binders. On the front of them, it has the company name. He says, here, you could take these back to your desk and look them over.
Sure. I tend to read a little fast, so I should be back fairly soon. And I got it. And my goal here, I'll try to go read them, not knowing this quickly, but then it'll be kind of okay, what's the appropriate amount of time I can wait before this is not completely insane?
Walk to the door, walk back.
Yeah.
Okay, I like this one.
Yeah.
So the first one is a car manufacturer called Evoque Motors. There's been lawsuits that were filed against them because they had a faulty starter in their vehicles that caused the vehicles to catch on fire. They had a whistleblower report that they knew that this was the case, but that they refused to recall cars with defects. So that they're liable for all of the deaths and injuries that were a result of the defect. So that's number 1. It's called Evoque Motors.
Evoque Motors.
Number 2 is a aircraft manufacturing company called Limitless Skies. They released a safety feature aboard their new aircraft, and once this new safety feature was released, they had 3 planes crash. They blame the airlines for improper training of their pilots. That was actually the issue of why these planes crashed. It wasn't actually due to any safety manufacturer, but there's been a lot of speculation as to what the pilots on the airlines could have done differently. The NTSB is currently investigating, but they are thinking it looks to be something that the safety feature that they released is responsible for. So that's 2, Limitless Skies.
Okay.
Number 3 is a pharmaceutical company called Progenex.
Progenex.
They released a
drug.
Of course. I was trying to think about what it's. So it's a drug for
impotence.
Of course.
I have no.
Actually,
I was
it could.
making a joke.
That wouldn't be that far off. It could be. So I didn't actually write down what the drug. I'm reading my comments. I didn't write down what the drug did. So I was trying to come up on the spot with what it did, and I'm not. I would be okay with that.
No, I'll pick something else. Like I was just being a.
But it doesn't matter because what the drug does as a side effect is it causes heart attacks.
they didn't catch this in like any kind of testing.
Maybe. They provided no comment upon the allegations of it causing heart attacks. So they're getting a lot of backlash socially because of their just inability to respond. But yeah, it's a heart attack. Maybe it's for bipolar. Let's do that. It's a bipolar drug that causes heart attacks.
Oh, it's bipolar. Okay.
Better than impotence?
Yeah, I like that better.
They've been inundated with lawsuits of people saying, hey, pay my medical bills, I barely survived, or
wrongful death suits.
Okay, so Progenex, number 3. The 4th one is from Phylox. I mentioned them before. They are also a pharmaceutical company. They have been developing vaccines, and the number of adverse reactions and deaths have been increasing over the past 10 years because they've been releasing vaccines for a long time. The allegation is that they're not doing enough testing with the vaccines, and it's causing, we'll say the side effects are respiratory illness, so asthma type effects. And in a few cases, they became increasingly lethal to where some of the people had to be put on ventilators and some of them died. They also had no comment as to whether or not this is true, or they didn't say anything about it. They didn't have any press releases or anything like that. Just complete radio silence from both. That's number 4, Phylox. Do any of them sound interesting? You want to investigate those?
Yeah, they all do, actually. Let's go with the bipolar medicine one. Let's do that one.
Progenex. Okay. After some time, you probably go back into Andrew's office, and he says, what did you decide?
I'll tell him Progenex. Yeah, let's go for them. They seem like they're doing the most harm.
He says, I was thinking the same thing. There's thousands of people who could have been affected by this. I mean, and a good 95% of them had no effects from this medication. Just the 5% that were hit seemed to be hit pretty hard. It was life-changing for them. So we need to spend a lot of time investigating whether or not this company knew. Hopefully we can get their email records in fairly short order. We're going to file a subpoena to get that information from them, and hopefully we'll have it before too long. Companies like these ones tend to drag their feet quite a bit as they set up their defense. So once we file these, expect for a fight, we'll make sure that these victims get the money that's due to them. Andrew nailed it, that they are dragging their feet about responding to subpoenas, saying that they need more time to gather their documents. Their servers have been having issues. They can't access all their emails, stuff like that. You've been waiting specifically for this information from the company.
Zach hears about 3 of these companies in the news and decides to act.
basically the medicine maker deliberately messing with people's lives.
So, what are you gonna hack Progenex?
Yeah. I want to expose the truth of, like, you know, the suspicion of their badness, right? So you said they were making something that deliberately harms people, and
I said, I'll read it again. They manufactured a drug that increased the heart attacks of a portion of its users and refused to comment on it.
let's keep it stealthy for now.
Okay. Ooh, stealthy hacking. I'm still gonna put that in technology.
Yeah, no, it's technology, but the point is, I'm not like trying to make it like a public thing so much. It's get information on all of their efforts, which should expose, hopefully, you know, why they're doing, what their goals are.
Roll me technology.
So I still have 9 in technology with that -2, and I just rolled a 20, so
Ha.
29.
You notice a recent vulnerability in their IP protocols, so you get in right through their firewalls. So you have access to all of their corporate details right at your fingertips. You do a little bit of searching, and you find that they did know about it. Emails went straight to the CEO about this defect. You found out that from their records that it impacted about 2% of the people that took the drug, and they knew about it, and the directive was from the CEO directly to cover it up. They wanted to like erase all records of them knowing. The estimated number of deaths from it was somewhere around 1,000. Not to mention the people that were also like injured and survived the heart attack. You also have access to their financial systems because you're an expert hacker with a nat 20. So you have access to their banks, you have access to their emails. Their whole system is pretty much open to you.
Interesting. What else can we discover about this CEO?
You have access to his emails, but only on his corporate account. If you could try to hack his personal account if you'd like.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. Let's do technology.
Roll a 14. That puts me, 23.
So you hack into his personal account. You don't see a whole lot of interest there. So first of all, he's married, and you notice that he is getting some provocative emails from not his wife. But other than that, it's not like you don't. I mean, that's pretty bad, I guess. But you don't see anything like he's not like trafficking children or anything like that. He's just potentially having an affair.
Okay.
Although, I mean, there's not a lot of content there.
Okay, so that was sort of a useless hack.
This is your backstory. This is whatever you want it to be.
Oh.
This is your own rabbit hole that you are going down. This is not part of my plot.
Oh, okay. Wait a minute. This is not the big event? I thought this was scene 2 or whatever.
No, this is like pre 3 years later.
Oh, so this is like during the 3 years or whatever.
Yeah, right.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Developing your hackerhood alter.
Okay.
So this is like, what have you been doing in the last 2 or 3 years?
Oh, I see. Okay.
Hacking pharmaceutical companies.
Yes.
Is the answer.
Yes.
And what do you do with them? I mean, you've hacked them.
Yeah.
Are
Okay.
you gonna end it there? Just hack, get the information, and then leave?
No, I thought I was trying to like uncover something from you more so. I didn't realize this was a little bit more like open-ended and just up to me what I want to do with it.
It is. I try to keep it up to you as much as possible.
Right, but you did come up with the company name, so I was like, oh, do these have something to do with like the major story plot? You know, ultimately, I want Zach to hack these bad companies.
All of them?
Yeah, I mean, come on, that's easy. Like, honestly, they're probably all easy to hack. I don't really feel like going through the motions of defaming them. I just sort of want to defame them, but I want to shift their funds into philanthropy like the Coopers would have done, but with a little bit of an angle on advancing technologies as well. I want to shift these bad companies' funds into like education and charities.
So yeah, you have access to Progenex whole system, Evoke's whole system, and Limitless's email.
I want to orchestrate basically the simultaneous shifting of funds from both Evoke Motors and Progenex into good causes, And then I also want to leak any of the communications internally to whistleblowers or journalists that would defame these companies because they also agree that they're bad. So yeah, let's leak to the lawyers as well as are there any special like April O'Neil journalists in this story?
Sure.
News reporters.
I didn't
journalists?
give them names, but
Yeah.
let's.
Let's go with Sevin. Sevin.
That's a weird name. I like Seven. Seven is a unique reporter name.
There we go.
Okay, Seven. It's not going to be Evans. That's Seven Evan Stewart. Sure, Seven Stewart.
She's a journalist / reporter.
Yep, for the New York Times, maybe. So you send these documents to the Seven, the reporter, and the lawyers for each of the respective cases. I think the important question here is: do you reveal Hackerhood is responsible for these?
Yes. Hackerhood is stamped on there.
Okay. The people love you now. You get a huge like boost in notoriety. People develop, I don't know what to call it, not quite an emblem, but like a figure that represents Hackerhood, and they will like post it on things like anonymous kind of like use like the anonymous Guy Fawkes face.
Yeah.
They have a Hackerhood emblem. You get kind of famous from this.
Next, Edward gets a lucky break in his new case.
And then Andrew calls you into his office and he says, something happened. You're not going to believe this. We've been trying to get all the information that we can about this Progenex. They have been saying that they've been having problems. And then into our lap falls this amazing little gift. He turns his monitor towards you to show you what happened. And it's basically an email. The contents of it from the top down. The title of the email is Incriminating Information.
Damn. Okay, that's very, very direct.
It contains it's like a zipped file of all of the relevant emails, all of the like expenditure reports directly relating to Progenex. And then at the bottom, it's signed Hackerhood, making the connection that they were very likely hacked, and this information was sent to you from the person who hacked them.
Okay, so somebody hacked them and then sent us the information.
Yes.
All right, well that's good news.
Andrew's like in shock that because it's never happened to him before. He says like he already checked with the judge, I guess, and they said that because it's not like they hired the person who hacked them, it's not like tainted evidence.
We could keep it because we were supposed to either in the future get it anyways, or they lied and said they gave us everything.
Right. They haven't given you this specifically yet.
Okay.
It's not like an entire server of emails. It's just a select few. Yeah, it's very targeted what you got. And yeah, according to Andrew, working with the other partners, they said that they are free to use this information. It's not against the law to use it.
Okay, fantastic.
I'm not a lawyer, though. I have no idea if this is actually be legal. It contains not only the person that sent and received the email, it also contains the exact timestamp that the email was sent. So you got your scope for what to look for is very narrow now. You're provided that information from someone calling themselves Hackerhood.
Hackerhood. Okay.
And in the next few days, you hear that similar hacks had taken place for several of the other companies as well.
Okay, that's good news.
So anyway, you have information about Progenex drug information you can specifically narrow down on. Is that the route you want to take? You want to be like, hey, give us this information specifically?
Yep, absolutely. And make sure, like, no mercy in front of the judge either. Just like, hey, they're not being we've really done our best to narrow our requests, and they're still, if they drag their feet at all.
After they realize that you know exactly what you're looking for, their tune changes from like, we don't know what happened to like, okay, let's make a deal.
No.
So like, do you even want to hear the offer?
I can't. I doubt it's good enough. I mean, it'll always be the client's decision. But yeah, sure. Let's hear the offer.
Okay, so they offer to pay for the medical bills of those that can be verified as that their drug impacted their health. So they say, we'll pay the medical bills. We're gonna give all of the people whose family members died
$100,000, and we're going to donate $30 million to a hospital.
I mean, there's a lot of devils in the details of this stuff. Is like, how is the verification process? What's the timeline for people getting their money and the hospital getting it? And I'm also just inclined to say that, like, I assume there's also typical, corporate weasel words of, we will admit no wrongdoing or anything like that.
Of course, yeah, there's no public wrongdoing because that would crush their company. They're going to pay the victims and, of course, pull the drug. And it is a class action now, so I don't know how. Do they vote on what? I don't know how.
No, I don't think that works in a class action. I think the class action is up to the. I don't know this for sure, but I think weirdly enough, it's like up to the attorneys who brought the case.
Perfect. You get to decide.
Cool. Well, I ask Andrew for his opinion, but.
Okay. Andrew says they rarely give the best offer first.
Yeah, it didn't feel like a very good offer.
Andrew says, you think we should squeeze him for more?
Yeah, I think so.
After another week's worth of back and forths. So for the alive people, they're giving them $100K and all their medical bills paid. And then for the dead, they're increasing their offer to $250,000.
Okay, that's better.
So they increase the offer to each of the victims. The other conditions are the same. Or they actually here's an alternative that they push as well. They said that they will forego the donation to the hospital, so you can go no hospital donation, and instead all of the money goes to the dead and the hurt. I'll just say the victims, so it's easier to say.
Okay, the dead and the hurt. I mean, what does it take to get him to admit wrongdoing? I want. So I'd ask Angie that, like, how do we get him to admit that they did something wrong?
How about this? Roll initiative, or not initiative, insight. That's initiative. You're gonna fight them.
I'm gonna fight them. My insight is +8. I rolled a 13 for a total of a 21.
Okay, so you have a meeting with them in person at one point, and they're not saying the words, but you can tell that the admission is going to cripple that company. And so they're going to pretty much do everything they can to not admit wrongdoing. They said, though, that they would be willing to publicly admit that a mistake was made, but the mistake was a mid-level manager or something. It was not the corporate structure or anything like that. But they're as a company, they're not going to admit that they did anything wrong.
All right, so I'll talk to Andrew for a little bit, because it's like, I'll tell him what after my insight check, what my read on these guys is, and just kind of thinking like, well, I don't, they should just get away with this and not admit wrongdoing. But like, if we go all the way to a trial, that could take forever. And in the meantime, there are people who could really use the help. I think I would like to, just fight the good fight and go, see if we can get them to go all the way to verdict, or maybe, but like, how do we know if we were to take a deal with them that they would actually change and not let this happen again?
Andrew says it's a balancing act. We have to play. We're the voice of the victims here, and we know that the living ones, at the very least, need this assistance, especially with the medical bills. They're going to drown in debt, some of them. So getting it fast, it's going to help them out quite a bit. And so we have to balance, like, is it more important to help the victims, or is it more important to hurt the guilty? And you're right, they may do it again if we don't make them pay for their mistake. And I mean, I've struggled with this in the past. Like, are you responsible for if the company does this again? Like, it's kept me up at night. And I don't know the right answer. Sometimes I have to go and I'll talk to some of the plaintiffs, and I'll see, like, exactly where they're at. I know not all of them are in the same place, but that can really help when I'm deciding where I want to take this. I'm leaning towards accepting. I think it's better to get the victims their payment rather than dragging this out for some who knows amount of years. But I definitely want to know what you and Dan think.
There's some way to do the third offer to make sure that there's something where, like, if they do this again, it can reopen this issue. If we end up representing people in the future who've been harmed in some way, that they waive certain, like, trial steps where it's just like, no, we don't need to file this motion or that motion. You just have to waive it. We're just like, so don't fudge up again, or we'll be right on you again.
Okay. Andy thinks that's a great idea. He drafts up that additional condition in the terms. And about a month later, it seems as though they're going to sign it, and they do. It makes it sound like they're not going to. Yeah, so they definitely sign it. They kind of took credit for themselves. They said, we noticed the issue, and we think it's only right that we make this generous contribution to the victims.
Not a contribution, you fudge.
Of course, anybody can't talk about this because there's definitely an NDA in place, but we did this all ourselves. Don't shop at other pharmaceutical companies. Come to us. That's how it goes.
Edward goes on to work at the law firm for another year. While he's taking cases, we'll finish up Zach's story.
You turn 18. You actually get to make decisions for the company now. You make a lot of investor decisions. There's a lot of reports that come up about what projects to work on. Did you want to make any changes to the company now that you can make decisions on what direction they should take?
So what totally is the company doing?
There's a lot of research that is going into new technologies, especially developing new technology that didn't exist based on what they've seen from powers. Luckily, there's some people with powers that are really smart, like yourself, actually. Your company's hired a few really smart, powered people.
Yeah, the only thing I want to do in addition to that is also have an aside for developing and researching my own affinity for electricity and that. Can I garner anything more from it with the help of a device? So I do want to have some sort of research going on there. Maybe the company itself doesn't necessarily need to state it, but I do want that going on.
Are you going to hire researchers to study you and reveal your abilities to them? Or are you going to try to do it yourself?
I think I'm smart enough to do it myself.
Yeah, you are one of the most intelligent people on Earth. So yeah, one of the proposals that comes up, and it's an expansion on that earlier technology that your company first developed, Andrea's medicines. So a more advanced duplication method had come up. So you hear from the lead researcher on the project, Jonathan Martin. He's a nerdy looking scientist guy. He comes up, he's very nervous to see you. He's presenting in the board meeting, and he's showcasing the technology. And he says, "Hi, I'm Jonathan, and I'd like to show you about Project Gemini here." And so he presents Project Gemini. He puts a video up on the projector, and the video shows a large spherical device. It's the size of a cabinet, a dresser kind of. It's a big spherical device. It's metal. They have in the chamber with this device, they also have some plants. So it's several different types of plants. They have some food next to the plants. They have some mice. Everybody leaves the room. They close the door. You see them from behind the glass in the video. They hit the button, and everything that is on the table splits in half. And now there's two sets. So there's two sets of plants, two sets of identical to the previous. So it's basically doubled everything that's there. And he's like, there's some minor bugs in it. The rats aren't quite as good as the originals. They tend to die pretty quick, but there's some defects. But I think this can really change the world. This technology is really far advanced, and we've been working on it for years and years. And I think it's almost ready. We'd just like a little more funding to help advance this project.
That's weird. What do you hope to accomplish if you get the funding?
We just need to work out these last bugs. It doesn't quite work very well on living specimens, and so we need to move forward with animal testing, and then we can really make sure anything that goes into it can come out and be, a fully functioning duplicate of whatever we put in.
Are there any other defects besides living things?
Just the mice were the only piece that didn't quite behave as we anticipated.
I don't really think that we should pursue it any further to duplicate the living or intelligent or whatever the living beings. Can we move forward with making this technology secure and not advancing it any further for living beings?
You see him kind of get frustrated about your statement. He says, "We've spent so long researching this already. I can just think of, imagine being able to
to copy living tissue. We could do organ transplants. We can save so many people. We just need to figure out animal testing.
Well, I mean, it sounds like we can still duplicate organs. We just aren't able to deal with a full living organism like a...
Well, it's the same problem with the organs as it is with the rats. Or the mice. They all just die not too long after they get duplicated.
Oh, okay.
It's just the simple, like, plants. Those are, for some reason, simple enough that it can handle that. But when it comes to the complex things, it just can't. It can't keep them together. We just need the extra money. He feels like he's losing the crowd a little bit, so he's like kind of pleading. He's like begging almost, trying to convince you to pay him what he needs to finish this research.
Okay, well, I'm not going to say no, but I'm not going to say yes. I'm just going to put this on hold for now and understand some more details before making a final decision.
It's obvious from his face he's not hiding anything. He's like visibly destroyed by this news. Like he was like really hoping for the funding. And so he kind of tail between his legs is like accepting, and he's like, okay, please get back to me as soon as you approve it. I really need to get started on this research. And he walks out of the room.
Oh, I was going to invite him to lunch with me. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. We'll go with that. Go ahead. Yeah.
Now you can. It's not too late to recon. He's walking out the door if you want to catch him.
Actually, yes, I do want to invite him to lunch with me.
So he's walking out the door. You stop him and say, "Come to lunch, whatever." You can tell he's like still upset and he's like fearful of you. He's like, yes, whatever you'd like, sir. When?
Today. In fact, like, what time is it right now?
This is first thing in the morning meeting, so it's like 10 o'clock.
All right, so we'll go today. So I guess that's in a couple hours. And I want him to know that I want to talk about this more, but in private.
Okay. He leaves the room and the meeting's over. So I guess lunch.
Yeah.
Where do you go to lunch? Where are you meeting this guy?
We'll take him to sushi.
Ooh. So I'm guessing this is like outside the office. I don't know.
Yeah.
Does your office have it's your building? You tell me. Does it have like a food court or anything?
Yeah,
like
it's
that?
just 2 blocks away.
You email him the details of the place, and he shows up a little bit after you, and he walks in and he goes, hi sir, nice to see you again.
Yeah, thanks for coming. I just wanted to get to know you more personally and hear more about the project.
Yeah, let's talk about it. It's quite a breakthrough technology. I've been working on it for the better part of a decade now, and I think I've really improved on your parents, your like technology, your breakthrough technology that allowed this to come to fruition.
That's great. When did you join Cooper Corporation? You said you've been working on this for 10 years.
Oh, that is a test of my timeline skills. Let me check this really quick. I've been at Cooper Corporation for 15 years, and I got to start off doing something I loved, and once I started working on this project, I knew I found like my legacy, and I really want to leave a mark on this world, and I think this is the tool that I can use to do it.
Oh, wow. Why do you like this technology so much? Like, does it have a profound effect on your own life?
I just really want to be remembered. I want to go down as the first person who got to implant a new cloned organ, or even a whole cloned person. Maybe someone with Alzheimer's or dementia or something. We can clone their entire body, and they can live in a new body that doesn't have dementia or I mean, it depends on how we perfect this technology. But think about how we can solve the problems that the world has with this replication technology.
Yeah, that's amazing. Do you have anyone close to you that it would help immediately?
Like, none of my family has had dementia or needed an organ transplant or anything like that, but I just saw this as a tool for leaving my mark on the world.
I'm trying to get more details about this guy in general. I just want to get to know him more.
You could tell he's visibly nervous this entire time.
Yeah, what I'm trying to do is garner any weaknesses before I say no to this guy.
Roll insight.
Yes, there we go, thank you. Even before I give him the no, I want to know all of his credentials and everything that I can, so I have the upper hand if I need. I rolled a 14.
21. Okay. You intuit that this guy is so obsessed with like leaving his mark on the world that he is almost willing to do anything to get it.
Cool. I want to ask him if he has a team, if he's been working with, and how much help they've been.
Yeah, I've got a team of 5 scientists that I've been. We all have like an aspect that we've been building on Project Gemini, and I've been the lead researcher for 10 years now, and we're so close.
Okay, cool. Well, let's order something. And while we're ordering something, I want to run on my intuition, and with my phone, I just want to text the go-ahead to somebody that supports me and like admin assistant to basically disable all of his access and credentials and everything to the company.
You're gonna fire him?
Yeah, but undercover, I'm gonna revoke all of his access.
Okay.
Yeah.
He orders some California rolls. He really enjoys those.
Oh, basic Jonathan.
Right, yeah. He seems to like lighten up a little bit towards the end of your meeting, I guess. And what's next? Do you go back to the office together? Do you leave before him?
No, I'm gonna stay and I'm gonna let him go.
Okay.
And I'm gonna tell him I think his project's fascinating and I'll have an answer for him by the end of the day.
Just basically ghosting this guy.
I'm ghosting him.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
So he's gonna walk back to work and not be able to get in.
Yeah, no. He can walk back to work and not be able to get in. That's fine.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna let him leave first.
Okay. Roll me deception.
Okay. I have like the upper hand here. Deception's a thing. Oh, I have a 5.
Yeah, deception is the thing.
So I have a 5 on that. I'm gonna roll now and I get an 8. So 8 plus 5, 13.
Okay. He's lightening up, but he's still pretty nervous, and so he's gonna pretty much believe anything you say. So he's like, "Yes, sir. I'll see you. I'll talk to you soon, I guess. Have a good lunch," and he leaves.
That's fine. He doesn't have access anymore anyway.
Okay, we're gonna skip ahead a little bit. So everything goes fine with his access removal. What are you gonna do with Project Gemini?
I want to limit the scope and set a hard policy that we're not gonna pursue the duplication of living organisms, but that we are going to refine securely, like duplicating non-living things. So we're going to lock this project down in order to continue research with the direction to secure the tech so that harm can't be done to living beings.
Okay, cool. I like it. That day, after that meeting, you get a phone call, and it's from another executive at a different company. His name is Isaac Harris. He says that he is the CEO of a company called Trisect. They're a private military contracting company, and that he heard of what happened to your parents, and he wants to know if there's anything that his company can provide your company in terms of like if you wanted to do like a takedown of that dictator. He's been trying to reach you for years now. Apparently, Nigel had been screening those calls. Basically, he's asking you if you want to hire him for a hit. Yeah, and his company, you have heard of them because they work with Phi. Phi, at this point in time, so they have their own agents that don't have powers that work for Phi. They have quite a bit of them, and they were trained by Trisect. So Trisect, it's been training and hiring the personnel that work at Phi. They're normal like security officers. They've been like a contractor that's been training the employees there, and also the people that have powers too. They train them as well.
So here's a problem. I think I can't say no because of my character's complexity.
Okay.
The red flags are there. Nigel's been screening the call. He's trying to exploit my parents' death. He's obviously has an agenda.
Roll insight.
Okay, cool. So insight is 7. I'm rolling, and I got 5.
You can tell that he might have an ulterior motive, but he's also not offering the service for free. He's asking a hefty sum of money to do it. So you think that it might just be a greed type situation. He's like, hire my company and you can get revenge. Hell, you can even come with us if you want.
It's curious because so Hackerhood has this whole like stealing from the greedy and giving to the needy, right?
Yeah.
And this is more of like an outright like let's go and take down Akila. So you
you have to weigh Do you want to go take down the person who killed your parent, or I guess hire someone to do it for you? Or comparing ideals here, what's more important?
Wog, I don't like that this guy is trying to exploit me for his greed to make some money here doing this. Aguila's sort of like low on the totem pole as far as fish to fry. Or is he not? I mean, he's just in some third world country, right?
In these last 3 years, he's actually risen in power. He's no longer as local, he's more of a regional dictator-ish. He's not like the president of the country, but he's he's like a cartel leader now.
Oh, wow. Okay, gotcha.
So he's still a threat. He's even more of a threat than he was before, which is why this private military contractor is reaching out and saying, like, we can send people, because, like, you know, you're not going to be able to do it by yourself. We can send people. You can come if you'd like. We can help you get the revenge that you deserve for a price, of course.
And what is this price in the face of my resources?
You can handle the price. It's not like
Okay.
bankrupting your company or anything. It's a significant price, but you can afford it.
Cool. There's two goals I have. I want to hire him. I don't want to go, but I also want to keep tabs to know that he's doing what he's doing and not just telling me he's doing what he's doing, right?
Yeah. You think he's gonna lie to you?
No, what's his goal? Like, is he gonna, like, take Aguila out or, like, take out everything? Like, what exactly is he... So, like, basically a hit on Aguila.
That's up to you. He tells you, like, we could try to take him back here, but I doubt we're gonna get any, like, conviction for the war crimes or anything like that.
The problem is also the funding could trace back to Cooper Corporation and ruin the company's image for hiring, you know, a hit.
True?
I mean, obviously, Nigel's been screening it for a reason. That's not good press.
That's true. There may be a negative press that comes with it, but there might also be positive press that comes with it. It depends on, like, how things go down. Because if it's like a massacre, then maybe it won't be very positive press.
That is curious. Well, I feel like even if Aguila is hit, there would be others to fill his spot, so to speak. So
Power vacuum.
I feel like we probably need to approach this a little bit more thoroughly if we want to make change for good, not just create chaos.
Is that what you tell him?
Yeah. And so we need something more complex than that.
He tells you, like, if you want to sit in the APC and help me, I'll be there too. Command the troops and get it done the exact way that you want. I'm open to that.
No, I'm gonna play it safe. Just assassinating Aguila is not gonna, like, solve anyone's problems over there. It could potentially just create chaos, and then the next person steps in anyway in the midst of that chaos. So we almost need, like, an effort that's much more complex to create good there.
Do you have a plan?
I don't have a plan off the top of my head. I'm just trying to, like, imagine, like, a scenario.
He says, well, I've done a bit of research. There's a few rival... cartels? I don't know. There's a few rival cartels in the area. Based on our research, there is the possibility of a power vacuum that could destabilize the region. But likely what's going to happen, there's going to be a restructuring of the government based on his funding is pretty substantial, and he pays quite a bit to the government to look the other way when he's doing his dealings. But there's a significant probability of rival gangs coming in and taking his territory. We're hoping, though, likely when we hit him, we can hold off another gang in the area until the government can reestablish control, and they'll hopefully uphold their civic duty. I'm turning southern a little bit with that accent.
That was funny. I don't see why it would be useful if I went along, you know.
If you want a more hands-on approach to this situation, then you'll get real-time communication and updates as things are happening if you're close by. It's way more southern.
No, I don't think that I can be caught over there because that would tie it to Cooper Corporation, unfortunately. So I want to remain discreet.
I understand your point of view. If you want to stay here, we'll do our thing over there. Up to you.
Okay, and so we have a good estimation that either another rival gang is going to step in, or
the government is going to reestablish control.
If we want to shut down the whole, like, cartel operation, then we need intel on how it works and what else is shut down, right?
His primary source of income, he's running this cartel through drugs and human trafficking. Basically, what we're going to have to do is control that territory indefinitely to prevent that rival gang from coming in. At least until the government can, get it together.
That sounds rather difficult. I don't know if this is worth doing at the moment. Yeah, let's not do that for now. Let's table this for now and see if we can come up with a better strategy in the future.
If you ever want to hire my company, just let me know. I'm just a phone call away. This is my private line, so you can call me whenever you'd like. In that case, the rest of the day goes by uneventfully.
On his way to work one day, Zach noticed some muggers attacking a woman in an alleyway. He steps up to intervene and helps chase off the muggers.
She starts walking back towards you. She's like very relieved that all like the muggers have gone. And she comes up to you and she says, thank you so much. I'm really glad you are here.
Oh, that's my cue. Yeah, why were you in the alleyway?
I just take this as a shortcut to work sometimes, and I saw these guys and I just, I made the mistake of thinking I could just walk past them without paying much attention, and, bad things happen.
Okay.
I might need to go to a hospital, though. They cut me pretty bad.
Oh, okay. What's your name? I'll call the hospital right away.
She says, my name's Rebecca. Thank you again. And she kind of starts to collapse a little bit.
I catch her and let her down gently, to a seated position, and I'm calling the ambulance. Yeah.
This is what happens when you catch her. So you see the cut on her leg. She's in in shorts because it's warm out. When you catch her, you see the cut on her leg start to close up, and you can see the color start to come back to her face. And she goes, "Oh my gosh, wow! I don't know what you did, but thank you. You fixed my leg."
I don't know what happened, but yeah.
I'm not gonna question a good thing.
Yeah, it looks like you're doing fine. Where are you going now? I don't know if you're totally all right. I mean, the leg is healed up, but...
I feel great now. I mean, I'm definitely not going to be going through this alley anymore, that's for sure, but I definitely need to get to work.
What? I'm sorry. No, you can't. You probably shouldn't go to work. You should call in. You definitely don't need to go to work right now. Where do you work where they wouldn't be understanding? I think you should probably rest to make sure you're okay.
I can't afford that. I gotta pay rent.
Well, look, let me just escort you to work and make sure that you make it there okay.
Okay. I will accept that. I work at Walgreens.
That's great, man. That's... All right, let's go.
Okay, so you take her to Walgreens. And as you're walking, you're finally coming down from the adrenaline high that you got from the fight. And you notice, what are you wearing right now?
Oh, sorry.
You're obviously, you're cut, right? Your chest is cut from the knife.
Yeah, I was just wearing a simple white dress shirt, a button-up. We'll say tan jeans.
Okay. You're bleeding from your chest, right? And as you're walking, you notice that even though you're still wearing your pants and they're uninjured, you see blood on your leg.
Okay.
It hurts, but you're thinking that maybe you twisted it or something when you're running. You get to Walgreens. Rebecca offers you some first aid because she works at a pharmacy.
Yeah, that'd be great.
She puts a bandage on your chest where you were slashed, and she notices the blood on your pants, and she's like, "Oh, I didn't see you get cut here." And she rolls up your pant leg, and sure enough, there's a big slash along your leg. Roll perception for me.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna roll now, and I got
9. Okay, you don't notice too much, but it's confusing why this is here because you weren't directly attacked in your leg. But nonetheless, she patches it back up. She said thank you again. Anytime you need anything, you can count on me. I'm just a call away. Here's my number.
Okay, that's great. I think I'm gonna get some candy and then head out of here.
What do you get?
I get a Butterfinger.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting. Interesting choice.
Yeah, I'm gonna get a Butterfinger and a vanilla Coke. Because I'm at Walgreens, and that's what you do.
That's the only thing to do at Walgreens. She is so thankful. She just says, it's on me. And she does not recognize you as the CEO of Cooper Corp. But she's just like on the house, like, thank you so much for what you did for me today. And what next? What do you do?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna... And I just had lunch. I think I'm gonna head back to Cooper Corp and see about some of the technology, but also not sure what's going on with my leg. Let's roll perception again on my leg.
Okay.
I roll a 12 this time, plus 7 is 19.
After a few more minutes of like thinking back, you realize that the shape of the cut matched the shape of the cut on her that healed. Hint, hint.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna eat that Butterfinger now. Alright, yeah, let's head back to Cooper Corp.
You get some interesting looks walking back into the building because you're patched up. You have a big cut in your shirt with bandages below them. When you get back to your office, do you have a secretary?
Absolutely. I need somebody who helps coordinate the thing. An administrative assistant. My secretary's name is Barry.
It's a man. Okay.
He's an administrative assistant, yes. I'll let Barry know about the woman in the alleyway.
He asks if you want to call the police.
No.
He is used to accepting your decisions, and he says, all right, whatever you want.
Cool.
Is there anything I can get you? Can I get you a new shirt?
Yeah, that'd be great.
I'm going to say nothing else eventful happens this day. I'm cool to skip ahead unless there's anything else you want to go over.
Yeah, that's fine.
We'll skip ahead about another month. You're running your business. One of the things that comes up, one of the leading board members retires, and Nigel comes up to you and asks if he can be a board member as well, since he had been acting as a board member and he found he enjoyed it, and since you're growing up, he needs a little bit more to do, since he's not like your guardian as much anymore. And so he'd like to play a part in running the company as well.
Yeah, that'd be excellent, Nigel. What did you have in mind?
Just like I helped... God, that's too Russian.
I'm gonna need you to start watching some like Hugh Jackman interviews.
Some Australian interviews.
Yeah, until he's like in your dreams.
Well, I helped raise you, and I think I could make a good contribution to this company. I need something else to do.
Yeah, you've been with us the whole time, and you've also been playing a part anyway. I think it's a sure fit.
Thanks, Zach. So he joins the board. He starts voting on corporate decisions as well. That's about like 2 weeks in. Then another 2 weeks go by, and then you get he gets a call, and Barry comes on the line. He goes, "You're not gonna believe this, but I have a call for you from none other than Jeff Nordling of Phi."
Okay, go ahead and put him on, I guess.
Your desk phone lights up with the call forwarding. You pick up the phone, you say, "Hey," and you hear back, "Hey, this is Jeff Nordling from Phi. Is this Zach?"
Yes, this is.
"Hey, Zach, I knew your parents. They actually worked with us quite a bit over here. Sorry to hear about them passing. I'm sorry I didn't reach out sooner. It's been pretty busy."
Yeah, that's okay. How did you know my parents?
They did some work for us. You were pretty little. I don't think we ever met each other, but they played a big role in developing our initial offices, setting us up with some more advanced technology early on, and I think we helped them right back, sending some of our best and brightest to help develop technology whenever we could. So we kind of had a mutually beneficial relationship. They actually wouldn't stop talking about you the whole time. They told me how good of a whiz kid you were with computers.
Oh, that's great. So, what can I do for you?
Well, that's actually kind of the reason I'm calling. I heard you were the whiz kid, and I think we might need some support. There's been some cases that we've been working on that involve foreign nationals with computers that we needed some help with.
Are you under cyber attack?
We try to keep an eye on bad actors, both foreign and domestic, and we've heard about your skill, and I don't know about if you'd be open to it, but maybe we'd like to offer you a job.
Well, I don't know about a job. Maybe it'd be good if we just got together and you could share some more details, are you looking to do business more with the resources and technology of Cooper Corporation, or is this just a private invite for my consultation?
Well, we like to work with people we know, and I mean, we've worked with your parents before, and we've worked with your company a lot, but we want to hire someone advanced, and we know how advanced your skills are. We knew what you did for the victims of Progenex and Evoke. That actually impressed a few of us here.
How do they know that it was tied back to Zach?
That's a good question. You don't know. The hack that you did didn't go unnoticed. I mean, this is a secure line. Don't worry about it. We had pending issues with them already. We didn't want to let it get out that it was you. Like I said, our companies have been working together for a long time, and we didn't want to change the opinions of the public and expose you to potential lawsuits from these like greedy organizations.
Jeff, when you say we, who's claiming that I made this hack?
We have our own cyber crimes division that looked into it, and based on our relationship, I made sure not to further that pursuit. Our cyber crimes division noticed that hack, and we did not pursue it.
Okay. Well, I don't know about all of that, but if you'd like to meet, I'd be honored to offer some counseling services to you and get to know a little bit more about the type of relationship you had with my parents. Is there a time that we could meet?
Yeah, and I'm not trying to scare you with our cyber crimes. It was actually, we were impressed by it, and we want to hire you to help defend the country. So, of course, I'd like to meet. Are you free next Tuesday?
Sure, Jeff. Can I expect to come to you?
Yeah, that's fine. Would you like to meet in our main headquarters?
Yes.
All right, I'll be there. We'll skip ahead to Tuesday. Is there anything you want to do before you go and meet him?
Yes.
What do you want to do?
I'm going to get some more information on the Phi headquarters, so we are going to hack.
All right.
Alright, I'm gonna roll. I roll a 16.
So 11 plus 16? Yeah, you hack in. You get past their like outer layer of security. You're able to get access to things like their employee hierarchy. You don't get like email access, but you get access to logs for like comings and goings. You get access to sub-secure cameras, so like the entrance cameras you have access to.
Do I have access to a history of the recordings?
Of the outside of the building and everything like that. Yeah, you do. For the past, let's say, month.
Okay, I want to screen the videos for facial recognition and just get a difference of like unique faces and just have a map.
Of people that have visited in the last month?
Yeah, only unique faces though.
Okay, roll technology.
Okay, rolling technology. Rolled a 10 plus my 11, so that's 21.
Okay, so you run your script or whatever, and you get it to count unique faces. It spits out 1,100 unique faces.
Okay, cool. That's a lot of people.
Yeah.
But that gives me a sense of like the scale and what's going on here.
Yeah, and then roll perception.
I just rolled a 20.
Okay.
You better give me something good. Plus the 7 on perception, but
27. That's pretty good. This is as good as your hack. So you, as part of your program, let's say, order the faces by number of unique times that they were noticed. So you have each unique face and then a count of times that they were seen.
Sure.
On the list, you notice most of the like known members of Phi. So you see Danielle a few times, you see Jeff a few times, you see Hannah a few times, you see Andrea a few times, you see Gregory a few times, you see Janie a few times. Janie, you see the fewest of the like signature members. There's a few other faces you notice. Someone who I've not mentioned before. His name is Dennis Fritz. He is the CEO of Frylox. I mentioned them before. They were the company that helped support Phi in the early days. He's fairly well known for like creating this company. He's one of the richest men in the world. He is one of the few people that you recognize outside of the main Phi crew. Another one is, I'm making a few assumptions here. After you had the call with Isaac Harris from Trisect, you probably looked him up. So you recognize also Isaac Harris visit a few times. One of the times he also brings his son Axel with him. Yeah, those are the faces that you recognize. I can give you more details on any one of them if you'd like.
Yeah, I'm gonna get more info on Andrea.
She worked with your company, actually, developing her first set of remedies and medicines.
Yeah, I think I know all of this. Is there anything beyond the general scope there?
Yeah, not long after your company sponsored her, like expanded her remedy thing, Phylox gave her like a full ride scholarship to MIT. And she was like way ahead of her class. So she's really young, and she graduated college fairly early. She was like done with college by the time she was like 24. She had her doctorate. She is an expert in like biotechnology and power development. She does a lot of research into people with powers. Medicines is like a side field that she dabbles in a lot. She's made a bunch of breakthrough advances in medicine. She also does research in the power origin theory of like where powers came from and how people started getting powers. There's some information you didn't know. Cool.
Yeah, we need to know more about this Dennis Fritz man.
Dennis is the CEO of Phylox. He's fairly well known. You could think of him a lot like Bill Gates. He's known not only for his like pharma company that he owns, but he also has like a big philanthropy branch. He does a lot of charity work for different causes. He's a big proponent on setting up Phi as a government agency. He like supported them financially a lot in the beginning. He started his company when he was really young, and he also got his degree when he was really young. He was even younger than Andrea, actually. He completed his PhD when he was only 20. He's also in biochemical, and hence the pharma company. He made a lot of like really good investments when he was young, and that's where he got the money for his company. He started it, did a lot of new drug and cancer research, developed new vaccines, and he distributes them mostly for free around the whole world. Phi doesn't really have like a board of directors, but if they did, he would be on it because he's been with Phi pretty much since the beginning. Once powered people like revealed themselves, he became one of the lead contributors to the cause. One of his noteworthy achievements is his company developed the prison to help keep powered people that had committed crimes in somewhere that can store them safely.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like 58 or so. Graying hair. It's blonde, but it's graying.
How old is Andrea?
Andrea was born in 65. Dennis was born in 56, so he's 9 years older. I might have fudged his age right there, but whatever. So he might be, 60-something now? Whatever, who cares? 50, 60, you don't tell much of a difference.
And what does Andrea look like?
Andrea she has glasses, she has brown, red-ish hair. She's kind of chubby. She kind of has like horned rim glasses. That's the style she's going with. Nothing really that noteworthy of her. Like she doesn't have any scars or anything like that.
Okay. I don't think I got enough from the hack to do much more. I was planning on trying to get into logs for the cybersecurity division. But then I found out that he's a mind reader, so it doesn't matter. Can he dig through my history of thoughts, or is he only perceptive of what I'm thinking at the moment?
The way mind reading works is it's similar to an attack. The degrees of success determine what he can intuit. If it's more than one, then he can basically interrogate you without your permission.
Okay. Does he have, what sort of range does he have to be within?
I will say that it is a perception-based attack, so he just has to see you.
Okay, so here's my thinking. I want to go to meet him, but I also want to continue my espionage, if you will, while I'm there.
All right.
Just because I want to be able to gather more information or gain more access. Not necessarily, I'm not like trying to be malicious. I'm just trying to get access to their different systems and things so that if ever in need, I can pull strings. It's kind of just like setting up that back door.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It's almost like if I have this sort of access, if something goes wrong with Phi, I will be able to do something about it.
They're offering you a job, and you're gonna...
I'm gonna hack them.
Only help them if they're under attack? Is that
No. I'm gonna help them, but that is completely separate from my other agenda to set up strings.
All right. Tell me what's up. Tell me what's the plan.
I don't know if I can develop any devices to help gain access to things when I'm more in person. Basically, my ultimate goal is just to have a hand in every system they have.
Okay. Actually, is there anything else you wanted to set up before?
Okay, well, I'm gonna definitely take an RFID jacker with me.
Okay.
I say get within 5 or 6 feet, like I'm having a conversation with someone, I can dupe their RFID signature. I want that. And then I also want to be able to record what I'm seeing. I don't know if I have a set of smart glasses that can do that, or if I've got a spy cam.
Yeah, that exists. We'll even say there was a service contract that was set up between Phi and Cooper Corp, actually. So the phones that your company develops is actually a staple in their agent equipment. So the latest gen folding smartphones is their typical equipment. So they have the folding smartphones as standard issue for each of their agents.
Oh, okay. And we developed the software for that? Oh.
You develop the hardware. You develop software for consumer use, but they wipe the software and replace it with encrypted government issue software.
But do they know about the hardware level rootkit that we put in our phones just in case we need to take control of them?
I mean, if that's what you want to play, does that exist for all phones?
It does for Cooper Corp's.
Okay. It's a little shady, but okay.
It is, but it's just for Hackerhead, and no one knows about Hackerhead.
Oh, so wait, is this legit? You didn't tell anybody? You put a backdoor into the phones and didn't tell anybody?
Yes, and it's hardware level, so that no operating system can escape it.
Got it. Okay, I'm fine with that.
Okay, with that in mind, my own phone can run a program, and when it's within range of those Cooper Corp phones, we can exploit that and just tag them and let my server know what those phones are so that I can follow up on them later.
Okay, I will allow that with the caveat that the phone has to be on and within 10 feet.
That's cool.
Advance the Tuesday at 12 or so. You go to the building. What now?
Okay, my spy cam's running. My phone's running its thing, and I'm just gonna go in. Yeah.
Okay. You see him waiting for you in the lobby.
Oh, hey Jeff.
Zach, it's so nice to meet you.
Thanks for having me.
Shall we take this upstairs?
Sure.
All right. He goes over to the receptionist and gets you a visitor badge, and he escorts you through security checkpoint, where he scans his badge. I'm assuming your little RFID thing's running.
Oh yeah, I already have his badge.
He takes you up 10 flights on this building in the elevator. He takes you through a few doors to a conference room. It has windows on one side, like a fairly decent size conference table with a bunch of chairs around it, 12 chairs. And he says, so we're having this meeting. I'm hoping to convince you to help us out with some of our security concerns around the world.
Oh, okay. What's been going on?
I don't want to tell you in case you don't accept, but let's just say that we know that we can be better secured, and we hope that you can help defend the country and prevent issues like what happened to your parents.
Yeah. Well, I'm definitely on board, but you're gonna have to tell me more so I can understand if I'm the right fit. What sort of commitment do you need from me?
Well, you don't have to sign any kind of contract. In fact, if you want to take it as a contract work at the beginning to understand if it's a good fit for you, we were totally fine with that. In fact, we know how useful your skill set is, and we're willing to offer, not that it's something that you don't already have, but offer a substantial salary and a team of people to support you within our cyber crimes division. Would that be something that interests you?
Yeah, we'll just take it one step at a time. That sounds great.
Roll will for me.
Here comes the mind read. My will is base value 7, and I rolled a 15. That's 22.
He squints a little bit and he goes, okay, so that's so good to hear. I'm hoping that not only can we develop your skills, but we can prevent any attacks or any kind of future technological mishaps that might happen around the world. And then he says, when do you think you'd be able to start on this? Is this something that you could pick up right away, or do you need more time to get your affairs in order?
No, I think I'm generally free. We can get started today.
Roll me will one more time.
Rolling 4 plus 7 is 11.
His eyes go wide for a second and he says, oh, and also, I think this is a good place for you to develop some of your other skills too. We have a training facility where you can take advantage of some of Andrea's research and better your skills in other ways as well.
Okay, so he knows I have powers.
Yes. I'm not even going to have you roll insight because you know he's a psychic.
Okay.
And then he says, is there anything else you need from me? I'm sure you have a lot of questions.
Yeah, I want to, I guess, learn more about what some of the concerns are, more specifically with security, so we can start on that. Can we meet with the team, or do we need to schedule another day?
Yeah, half of them aren't here this week. We've had a pretty big event happen, and so half the team is out this week, but they're all supposed to be back Monday. If you'd like to get caught up on the roster that we have, since you've accepted the offer, we can give you roster details of your team and the future projects that we have and plan to have, as well as some of our major threats ready for you. If you want to start tomorrow, you can too. We just need to collect some of that information and put it together.
Okay. Well, can we go check out the security lab?
He says, sure, we can go take a look there if you'd like.
Cool.
So roll will again.
Alright, rolling again. I rolled a 20.
Nat 20, okay, yes. His ability has turned off.
Cool.
Okay. He leads you back to the elevator. He pushes basement 3 and takes you down to the secure cyber crimes and investigations lab. The door's open to the floor, and he says, this is what would be your new office. Like, the layout of the floor, it's underground, but it's a pretty big basement floor. They have desks set up in larger cubicles. There's still a corner office if it's underground? But they have a corner office. He says, when you start, that's going to be your office over there. You're going to have 3 direct reports and a total team of about 15. You'll be reporting directly to me, and you'll have a few other colleagues that you're working with that work in different areas. He says, if you'd like, I can introduce you to maybe a few of the team, if you'd like to get to know them.
Yeah, that'd be great.
All right. Wasn't planning to have to introduce you to people, but should learn that that's always a possibility.
You just gotta play God a little bit faster.
Right? He walks you over to the desk of a young lady, and she is typing away, referencing some documents on her desk. And Jeff walks up to her and says, Sophia, there's someone I'd like you to meet. Sophia stands up. She's wearing like you'd expect a female FBI agent to wear, like a suit, but not as stylish as a pantsuit. She goes, hi, my name is Sophia Santos, and nice to meet you.
Hey, nice to meet you.
He goes, Sophia, Zach here has agreed to take a position as the new team lead, so he's gonna be your boss starting here in a few days. She doesn't have a major reaction. She's just like, oh, that's neat. And she goes, well, it's happy to meet you.
I want to put my hand out to shake her hand and tell her I'm excited to work with you guys and help with your security efforts and learn more.
Okay. Her reaction grows a little bit more eager and excited to have met the boss ahead of everybody else.
Yeah. Okay, I want to pause for a second.
Okay.
I want to roll perception to see if I can get through all of that, any username or login information kind of stuff.
Like her username and login information?
Yeah.
Okay.
And if not, then I want to see what server is she connected to, kind of thing.
It's a ballsy move standing next to a psychic.
Yeah, he's not necessarily trying to intuit anything from me, so I just want to roll the perception for it. I'm not giving him a reason,
Okay.
He doesn't not any wiser. I'm rolling now. I rolled 19, so 26.
It's a good roll. You are able to notice her username. It's not encrypted or anything. You can see plain text of her username. Her password is encrypted as she types it in. It's back to the stars kind of thing. And then you see after she types in her password, she touches a thing on her keychain that she has around her neck. She touches it to a reading device for 2-factor authentication, and then it fills in the rest of her password and it logs her in. So you are able to intuit part of her password. So you get the first 6 of her 10-digit password.
What server is she logged into? I should be able to see that too.
Yeah, it's Phi Secured New York 7323 or something.
What is it? 7232?
Sure. I just made those numbers up.
Okay.
Did you want to intuit anything else besides her password and username and server? Oh, and roll will for me again.
The 2-factor makes this hard. Why is Jeff trying to tap my brain, man? Get out of here. Rolling. I rolled 18 plus 7. 25.
He fails.
Okay, fine. He doesn't need to know.
Jeff asks, like, can I show you anything else? Do you want to see our training facilities?
Yeah, let's check those out.
He takes you back up in the elevator to near the top of the building, the 60th floor. It's a tall building. You step out of the elevator, and the floor looks a lot like a dojo, and then it has a bunch of like side. They look kind of like meeting rooms, but there's like a spa one. There's like a massage parlor, and like different services offered around the facility. So the floor is kind of divided in two. The main area that you first walk in, the first see when you come in is like the dojo, and then Jeff steps off and he says, like, this is where some of our newer recruits come and train against whoever they wish, really. We've had even Danielle come down and train here a few times against some of the more powerful members of Phi. But it's open to anyone who wants to come up here, at Phi, that is. And we've actually had bets on a few of the last matches that we do. It's starting to become a tradition around here to see who's going to tap out first. If you ever want to use these facilities, you can just set up a schedule with Chuck, our planner, and Gregory is in charge of training new recruits, so you'll probably see him around here if you want to do any kind of training.
Cool. That sounds like it could be fun.
He looks around for a second and he says, "How long have you had the powers?"
I used to say since my parents died.
He says, oh, "I'm so sorry that's how you learned. That's got to be rough for any kid. Is there anything I can do to help with that?"
I don't really know. Still trying to make sense of them myself.
If you ever want to do anything about it, even I looked into that cartel leader who took them down, and he's been on our radar for a while. He's not exactly our division. He doesn't do much in cyber crimes, but he's been a thorn in the side of like the world for a while, and we want to take him down, but we just want to make sure that region stabilizes too. So maybe you'll get a chance to get some payback one day.
Okay, for another day. Wondering like what kind of training I might do to better understand my powers.
Typically what we'll do is we'll have our new recruits come in here, especially if they just acquired their powers. We'll have them train with either like a dedicated trainer agent, or if they're more advanced in their skill or their power is more powerful, we'll have them train directly against Gregory. Andrea usually observes these and can get some more details as to how their power works. She's been at it for years now. She's getting pretty good. And depending on the power, we'll have different people work with them. So if their power involves flight, for example, we'll usually have Danielle come work with them directly. If she's not meeting some senator or something, I'll usually work with them directly if they have some type of mental ability.
I'd like to schedule some time to come meet with folks to try and get a better understanding of my powers.
All right. He says, "That's great. Yeah, when are you available next?"
I'm available as early as today.
All right. I didn't intuit a lot about your powers, but I did see some mental abilities. How would you describe what you do?
Oh, well, so as far as I can tell, I have some ability to see through the eyes of others, and if I concentrate, I can also steal their vision, and they go blind during my concentration. Also, I have some affinity to understand the electromagnetic activity going on, like I can sense current running through things, and it's almost like I can feel the transfer of electromagnetic energy. And then, I'm not too sure, but the other day I helped a woman and she was injured, and when I held her to help stabilize her balance, her wounds just healed up. But then, I'm not sure, but I think I took on those wounds. They manifested in my own body.
Oh, that's a rare one. All right. I think maybe I'm your best opponent then. It seems like a lot of your powers deal with mental abilities. I have another technique that I think might work to help develop your power, or at least gain some insight as to what it is. And not everybody's quite open to it, but if I can kind of like delve into your mind a little bit, I can gain access to your subconscious, and sometimes that can give me a keen eye as to what your powers might be.
Sure, let's do it.
Okay, so he takes you over to the like spa area, and he goes, "Okay, just relax. I'll do what I can do, and hopefully reveal some details about this to you." Okay, you cool with that?
Yeah.
Okay, so he takes you over there. He does that. He mind melds you, I guess.
Yes.
And the second he touches you, something interesting happens. Let me give you a little breakdown about what this area looks like. There are people on the other side of the floor. He looked around to see if they could hear. They were pretty far away. One of them is working in that lab. One of them is in just like an office. Roll perception for me real quick.
Rolling 19.
Okay, so the guy you notice on the other side of the floor you realize is Gregory.
Okay.
He's just like talking to someone that's behind a door that you can't really see, just having a conversation. There's some other person that you can't see that is also in the lab across the way. When Jeff touches you, all three of the people that are on the other side of the building let out a scream and grip their head and drop to their knees a little bit. And it's the second that happens, Jeff kind of lets go for a second and he goes, "Whoa, I don't think I've seen this one before." So I don't know if you realize what just happened. When I touched you, you amplified my power. What just happened to those people that let out a scream on the other side of the floor? I have normally a mental blast that I can do that can like disable people, and you just made it hit all three of them at the same time. Granted, they weren't paying attention, so it probably hit them a little bit harder than they were expecting, but not only did I hit all three of them with something that I've never been able to hit all three with more than one target at a time, I usually have to kind of aim it like it's a mental gun or something, and it didn't even need to do that. So not only did you make it split into multiple attacks, but you made it heat seek. This is something that's fairly rare. I'm not quite sure exactly how this works. We're going to need to do this again, probably somewhere a little bit safer. Yeah, it seems like you have an ability that acts with other powers. I want to learn more. I was getting to the root of another one, but I don't want to hurt the other people in this room. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get to that one. It was really something like underlying. Like I couldn't exactly tell what it was, but there's something else that I couldn't quite get. And I don't know that I'm going to be able to do it. But there is one other one that's in there somewhere.
Well, I'm not sure what to make of all that. I'm intrigued to set up another get-together.
Okay. He's like, if you excuse me, I gotta go tell everybody that they're gonna be fine. Feel free to show yourself out. Just hand your badge back to the people at the front desk. And hopefully I'll see you tomorrow, if not Monday.
Okay.
And he walks away over to Gregory and the person behind the door.
Okay, cool. So at this point, I'm free to leave or explore.
Yep.
Okay. I had this idea before, but the two-factor thing kind of gets in my way. We'll just bounce for the day.
Okay. And then I think we're going to fast forward a little bit more. We'll fast forward. You have another session with Jeff, and we're going to fast forward through that too. I'll tell you what the rest of the stuff was.
Okay.
Yeah. This concludes. I don't know if I've made that clear. This is the end of your arc.
Yeah.
You've completed your first arc.
Yeah, that's fine.
I guess there's one more little thing. Are you going to work at Phi? You kind of started out seeming like you were going to spy on them.
Well, I'm gonna work with them, but there's something I intended to do. I'm going to completely eliminate all records they have on HackerHood and tracing it to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like it.
In fact, HackerHood gonna take lengths to make sure it doesn't tie back to Zach.
Okay. Using that position of authority. But you're going to continue to work there, right?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. You can expect the typical type of cases. Yeah, so we've skipped ahead to today.
Okay.
Tell me about what happens with Cooper Corp.
No, I'll still remain the CEO there.
Wear two hats, okay?
Yeah, wearing two hats is fine. Like, I don't have to invest all my time to help those guys at Vi.
Yeah. Okay, I'm cool with that.
This marks the end of the Awakenings arc, Part 2. Thank you for listening to Golden Squad. If you'd like to reach out to us, you can find us at Golden Squad Pod on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, or you can send us an email at goldensquadpodcast@gmail.com. Or if you'd like to donate to us and support us financially, that's always cool too. You can find us on kofi.com/goldensquad. Next time, we'll hear from the fourth player and the majority of her entire story.